Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into one of my absolute favorite series and taking a closer look at the 14th book, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Wrecking Ball. If you've ever dealt with home renovations, unexpected inheritances, or just the general chaos of being a kid, you are going to love this one. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's get into the hilarious world of Greg Heffley's latest disaster. The story kicks off with a classic Wimpy Kid problem, money. The Heffleys are feeling the financial pinch, and Greg's mom, Susan, is brainstorming ways for them to cut back. This leads to some pretty funny scenarios, like making their own lunches and canceling their magazine subscriptions. Greg, of course, isn't thrilled. He just wants to enjoy his life without worrying about every penny. This whole situation sets the stage perfectly for the main event of the book. Just when things seem a bit bleak, the Heffleys receive some unexpected news. Greg's great-aunt Reba has passed away and left them an inheritance. Now, if you're thinking they're about to become millionaires, think again. This is the Heffley family we're talking about. The inheritance isn't a mountain of cash, but it's enough to spark a huge debate in the household. What should they do with the money? Frank, Greg's dad, wants to pay off the mortgage. Susan, on the other hand, has a much grander vision. Susan sees this as a golden opportunity to finally build her dream home extension. She's got binders full of ideas, pictures torn from magazines, and a whole lot of enthusiasm. She imagines a bigger kitchen, a new master bedroom, and maybe even a space for the family to gather. Frank is skeptical. He is a practical guy who sees a home renovation project as a bottomless pit of stress and expenses. And honestly, he's not wrong. Greg, as usual, is caught in the middle. At first, he's excited by the idea of a bigger house. He starts daydreaming about having his own room, a personal bathroom, and maybe even a secret passageway. His imagination runs wild with all the cool possibilities, but he's also wary of the chaos that a construction project will bring. He knows his parents, and he knows that when they disagree, things can get pretty tense. The first major hurdle is getting the building permit. The Heffleys have to deal with the town's planning department, and it's a bureaucratic nightmare. There are forms to fill out, rules to follow, and a whole lot of waiting around. This part of the book is so relatable for anyone who's ever dealt with official paperwork. It's slow, it's frustrating, and it feels like you are jumping through a million hoops just to get a simple yes. While they wait for the permit, the family starts the decluttering phase. Susan decides they need to clear out the old to make way for the new. This means going through years of accumulated junk in the basement and attic. They find old baby clothes, forgotten toys, and stacks of Frank's old Leo Cutie comics. Greg is horrified at the idea of his baby pictures being unearthed for everyone to see. This whole sequence is hilarious, especially when they try to have a yard sale and realize that most of their stuff is, well, not exactly valuable. Finally, the permit is approved, and the demolition begins. This is where the book gets its title, Wrecking Ball. A construction crew shows up, and the back of the Heffley house is literally torn down. Greg watches in a mix of horror and fascination as a giant wrecking ball smashes through the walls. The house is now exposed to the elements, covered in a giant blue tarp. The family is forced to live in the construction zone, and it's every bit as chaotic as you can imagine. Living in a half-demolished house is not fun. Dust is everywhere. There are loud noises at all hours of the day. Workers are constantly traipsing through their living space. The family has to navigate around piles of lumber and tools just to get from one room to another. They even have to use a portable toilet in the yard, which is a whole new level of awkward for Greg. One of the funniest subplots involves a family of squirrels that decides to move into the exposed wall of the house. Greg and his family have to deal with these new, unwelcome roommates, leading to some truly chaotic attempts to get them out. It's a classic Wimpy Kid situation where a small problem escalates into a massive, ridiculous ordeal. As the construction drags on, problems start piling up. The crew finds unexpected issues, like rotten wood and faulty wiring, which means more delays and more money. Frank's worst fears are coming true. The project is going way over budget, and the stress is getting to everyone. Susan's dream is turning into a nightmare, and the constant tension between her and Frank is palpable. Greg and Roderick just try to stay out of the way, but it is hard to escape the drama when you are all crammed into what is left of your house. There is a great moment where the family has to temporarily move out and stay in a cramped hotel room. You'd think a little vacation would be a nice break, but for the Heffleys, it's just another source of conflict. They're all on top of each other, getting on each other's nerves. It really highlights how the renovation is affecting the entire family dynamic. The climax of the book comes when a massive storm hits. The flimsy tarp covering the hole in their house is no match for the wind and rain. Water starts pouring in, flooding the construction site and causing even more damage. It's a total disaster. The family is in a state of panic, trying to save their belongings and dealing with the mess. It feels like things can't possibly get any worse. After the storm, the family is at a breaking point. The house is a wreck, the money is gone, and everyone is miserable. They have a serious family meeting and finally face the reality of their situation. They can't afford to finish the extension. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially for Susan, who has to let go of her dream. In a surprising twist, they decide to sell the house as is. They pack up their things and move out, leaving the half-finished renovation behind. The book ends with the Heffleys driving away, looking for a new place to live. It's an uncertain future, but there's also a sense of relief. They're leaving the wrecking ball disaster behind and starting fresh. What I love about Wrecking Ball is how it captures the real-life stress of home renovations, but with that signature Wimpy Kid humor. Jeff Kinney is a master at taking a common family experience and exaggerating it to comedic perfection. Greg's narration is as funny and relatable as ever. He's not a hero. He's just a kid trying to survive the chaos his parents have created. The book is also a great commentary on the idea of the dream home. Susan's intentions were good, but her vision was bigger than their reality. It's a reminder that sometimes the simple life is the best life. The Heffleys might not have their mansion, but they have each other, and they're ready for their next adventure, wherever it takes them. The ending is a bit of a cliffhanger, leaving us wondering where the Heffleys will end up next, which was a brilliant move to keep us hooked for the next book. So, what are your thoughts on Wrecking Ball? Did you have a favorite part? Maybe you've lived through a home renovation nightmare yourself. Let me know in the comments below. I love reading your stories and opinions. Thanks so much for watching and hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the Wimpy Kid, make sure to hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next video. We've got plenty more book adventures coming your way. Until next time, keep reading and stay awesome. Bye everyone.